WPIAL Podcast, Trib Live, High School Sports Network. Says so right there. Wait. Why can't I get that right? There we go. It says so up there, Trib Live, High School Sports Network. That was fantastic. All right, we're here to recap Week 6, which was a lot more exciting than me figuring out how to point in a different direction. A lot of good football. A lot of the games that were expected to be close were. A lot of big fourth quarters. Good stuff as we hit October football. That's what it's all about, separating the contenders from the pretenders. And with that, we strike up the band, led by producer Chris Lackner, and take a look. Some good action in Class 6A. That hasn't been said a lot over the years, but all three games, if I do my math right, no, I'm not doing my math right. I was going to say all three games were one-score games, but not the case in North Allegheny. They defeated Mount Lebanon 28-19. Luke Rohan, 144 yards rushing and a touchdown for the winning Tigers, who improved to 3-1. Hot on their heels, both Norwin and Kenna McMillan at 2-1. Those second 6A victories came on Friday. Norwin 33, Hempfield 26. The Knights were down 26-14. They scored the final 19 points to pull out the big win at home. Giovanni Rothroff, 24 carries, 193 yards, 2 touchdowns for Rothroff as the Knights pick up a big victory. They're now 5-2 on the season. 4-3 on the season, 2-1 in 6A is Kenna McMillan. They hold on to defeat Seneca Valley, 33-29. Ty Jansma, 12 of 21 for 152 yards. TJ Sabatucci, 2 touchdowns for the Big Macs. Non-conference. The 6A close football has me all choked up. Owen Herrick, 10 of 12 passing, 213 yards, 2 touchdowns. Central Catholic cruises to his sixth straight victory, 69-7 over the Shaler Titans. 5A conference play will begin in the Allegheny 6. Peters Township remains undefeated. Wasn't easy. They had to come back from a 10-0 deficit to win 21-10 over Moon. Quarterback Nolan DeLucia, 11 of 20 passing, 141 yards, and 2 touchdowns for the Indians. The team that Peters beat last week, Upper St. Clair, bounces back. They knock off South Fayette 50-14. Ethan Hellman, 11 of 17 passing, 203 yards, and 3 touchdowns for USC. Bethel Park joins Upper St. Clair, South Fayette, and Moon at 1-1 in the Allegheny 6. Evan Devine, 7 of 8 passing, 172 yards, 6 touchdowns. Blackhawks all over Baldwin, 75-14. Big East Conference. Battle for first place goes to Woodland Hills. They score 31 points in the fourth quarter to pull away and win at Armstrong, 50-14. Cam Walter, 19 of 23 passing, 311 yards, and 3 touchdowns. His favorite receiver, Scoop Smith, 11 catches, 226 yards, and 2 touchdowns. The Wolverines all alone in first place in the Big East Conference. Still trailing Penn Trafford. They're 2-1 now after Ben Grabowski had 148 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Warriors win at home over Gateway, 33-23. Landon Artman, 12 of 20 passing, 273 yards, and 5 touchdowns. Kisk-Area improves to 2-2 in conference play with a 34-14 win at home over Latrobe. Northeast Conference, not a lot of suspense as far as who's going to win it all. Pine Richland in tremendous shape. They're now 4-0, 6-1 overall after whacking Penn Hills 63-19. Aaron Strader, 2 touchdown passes, 2 touchdown runs for the winning Rams. Penn Hills falls to 2-1. That's the same record for North Hills. Indians win at Plum 14-13, coming back to win on a Joseph Lutz 67-yard fumble return for a score. John L. Edison, 191 yards for winning North Hills. WPIAL record set on Friday. Aron Zuricat, Georgia commit, I should say. 57-yard field goal, longest field goal in WPIAL history. Not enough. Fox Chapel loses to Franklin Regional 21-10. First victory of the season for the Panthers as Jack Puka, 9 of 15 for 148 yards and a touchdown for the winning Panthers. Class 4A, Big Six Conference. A changing of the guard, perhaps? Trinity, 33. Thomas Jefferson, 22. 26 unanswered points in the second half. Wins it for the Hillers. Our HSSN Player of the Week last week, Jonah Williamson, 15 of 28 passing, 180 yards, and 2 touchdowns for winning Trinity. Up next, they will host Chartiers Valley for first place. The Colts now 2-0 in the Big Six Conference after a dramatic 36-35 win over Bell Vernon. Quarterback Luke Miranda, 14 of 26 passing, 222 yards, 4 touchdowns for the Colts, who score late, go for 2, and get the 2-pointer. That's the difference, 36-35. Colts over the Leopards. Amani Ward, 187 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Ringgold wins 47-7 over Laurel Highlands Rams, 1-1 in the conference. To the Parkway Conference we go now, where everybody's looking up at the Newcastle Red Hurricanes. 34-14 winners over Montour on Friday. The freshman Marino Graham, 14 of 21 passing, 165 yards and a touchdown, 107 yards rushing, and 4 touchdowns as the Canes win by 20 to take over first place at 2-0. The Spartans fall to 1-1. That's the record of both Aliquippa and West Allegheny after the Quips knocked off the Indians 19-7. Marcus Council Jr. back in the lineup for Aliquippa, 10 of 15 passing, 144 yards, 2 touchdowns, 12 points in the fourth quarter. The difference for Aliquippa, they've been doing that all season long. Braden McCarthy, 246 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. Big game as Blackhawk evens their conference record at 1-1 with a 51-20 triumph over Ambridge. Greater Allegheny Conference, McKeesport 28, West Mifflin 21, Timon Spell 169 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns, including what proved to be the game-winning score in the fourth quarter on a 50-yard run that put the Tigers up for good. Evan McEnany, 148 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Hampton wins over Indiana 35-7. Both those teams 1-1 in the GAC. And Mars 56, knock nothing. Aiden Yoakum continues to run wild, run free, 227 yards and 4 touchdowns for the Fighting Planets, who next week visit McKeesport for the top spot in the Greater Allegheny Conference. Class 3A Western Hills Conference, Avonworth remains undefeated. They knock off Quaker Valley big, 46-7. Ethan Shearer, 188 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. Central Valley holds on. They were up 24-0. They win 34-28 over North Catholic, handing the Trojans their first conference loss. James Boo Boo Armstrong, 8 of 10 passing, 289 yards, 4 touchdowns. Hopewell all day over winless McGuffey, 63-0. Allegheny 7 Conference, an eyebrow goes up as Freeport loses for the first time this season. It was Tevin Owen Krattensburg, 235 yards rushing, as Highlands wins in overtime, 28-27. The game was tied at the end of regulation at 21-21. Highlands scores first, kicked the extra point to go up 28-21. Freeport scores, and a lot of teams nowadays will go for 2 in the win. They went to kick the extra point, and they missed it, and they lose 28-27. Yellow Jackets, first loss of the year. Both Highlands and Freeport now 3-1 in the Allegheny 7. Both looking up at Imani Christian. The Saints remain undefeated, 61-0 whitewash of East Allegheny. Antonio Perkins, what a game. 303 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. Burrell, 41. Valley, 21. 3A's Interstate Conference. Ryan Messina, 14 of 21 passing, for 181 yards and 2 touchdowns. Elizabeth Forward crushes Derry 56-7. Jackson Mickens 101 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Southmoreland remains undefeated, a 41-0 win at York. Mount Pleasant 42, Greensburg Salem 29. Steve Pradajna 133 yards and a touchdown for the Vikings, who are now tied with EF and Southmoreland for first place in the Interstate Conference. 3A non-conference, Travis Clear 9 of 16 passing, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. Beaver improves to 4-3 with a 45-7 victory over Deer Lakes. Ligonier Valley wins their first 67-13 over Charleroi, that in a Class 2A non-conference game. 2A Midwestern Athletic Conference, Amari Marshall, 185 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Western Beaver remains undefeated, 27-12, winners at Elwood City. Mason Holla, 212 yards and a touchdown. Riverside 37, Freedom 7. The Panthers 3-1 in conference play. Also 3-1. Looky here. Beaver Falls, they lost their first 4. They've now won 3 in a row. 3-1 in the conference, 28-22 winners over Union. And Heath Lewis and the News, 3 touchdowns for New Brighton as the Lions win at home over Mohawk, 38-35. Century Conference, Tristan Reed, 6 of 9, passing 142 yards and a touchdown. He also had 3 touchdown runs. Washington crushes Keystone Oaks, 55-0, handing the Golden Eagles their first loss. Washington now 3-0, tied for first place with Seton LaSalle. The Rebels improved to 4-0 with a 53-0 blanking of Stowe Rocks. Kymar Freedom, 124 yards and 2 touchdowns for the winning Rebels. And Waynesburg Central wins their first conference game, a 36-6 victory over Carleton in Carnegie. Allegheny Conference, one of the surprise results of the night. Alexander Clausen, 17 of 25 passing, 183 yards, 2 touchdowns. Apollo Ridge, 18. Steel Valley, 14. First conference loss for the Ironmen. Vikings improved to 3-0, and they get 3-0 South Allegheny next week. Jameer Samuels, 103 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Our Lady of the Sacred Heart edges South Park, 14-13, 4th straight loss for the defending champion Eagles. Let's go to Class A now. Black Hills Conference, Fort Cherry, 56, Cornell 20. Matt Sieg, 214 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns, adding to his all-time record in the WPIAL for touchdowns in a career in the Rangers' 7th victory in 7 games. Brady Wagner, 8 of 9, passing 167 yards, 5 touchdowns. Bishop Canavan, 54. Sarah Catholic, 14 coming up. Rangers and Crusaders in week 7. Aaron Walsh, 104 yards passing, 3 touchdowns, 88 yards on the ground and a touchdown. Chartiers Houston, 31. Monessen, 18. The Buccaneers now 2-2 in the Black Hills Conference. Big 7 Conference. Andrew Corfield, 130 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Southside, 63. Northgate, 13. The Rams are now 3-0. Laurel also 3-0. Lucas Santini, 8 of 11 passing, 142 yards, 4 touchdowns. Spartan, 63. Summit Academy, 8. And Shenango edges Rochester, 13-12. Nico DeSalvo, 105 yards on the ground for the winning Wildcats. Eastern Conference, Tyrell Armstrong, 2 touchdowns, including a 30-yard fumble return for a score. Clareton, 51. Springdale, nothing. Tim Andrasi, 166 yards on the ground, 2 touchdowns. Leechburg, 48. Fraser, 14. Bears are 4-0. Blue Devils are 3-0. Those two meet in week 7 at Clareton. Kaimani Brown, 138 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. 146 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. Jeanette beats rival Greensburg Central Catholic, 37-22. Hawks, 2-2 in the Eastern Conference. That's the record for Brentwood after a 27-14 victory over Riverview. Cedric Davis, 200 yards on the ground and 4 touchdowns for the Spartans. Riverview falls to 2-2. Tri-County South, Jefferson Morgan remains undefeated. Triton Farabee, 9 of 17 passing, 231 yards, 3 touchdowns. Rockets, 37. Beth Center, 19. Jefferson Morgan, 4-0 in the conference. California, 4-0 in the conference. Malachi Peak, 130 yards on the ground, 3 touchdowns. California, 50. Carmichael's, nothing. Noah Kimberlin, 168 yards rushing, 3 touchdowns. It was Avella 48, Mapletown 12, Eagles improving to 3-1. Same conference record for Bentworth. Bearcats win at home over West Green, 42-0. Anthony Eakin, 146 yards rushing and a touchdown. Class A non-conference. It was Neshannock 34, Burgettstown 7, Lancers now 5-1. City League, University Prep defeats Allderdice 38-6. They improved to 4-0. Next week, University Prep closes out City League action, regular season action, against Westinghouse. The winner takes first place in the regular season title. Loser takes second place and will play Allderdice in the City League semifinals. Fourth place also determined. It was Brashear 28, Perry 14. How about this? Bulls win their first game of the year, and in doing so, they clinch a playoff spot. They will finish in fourth place in the City League, and they will play the winner of Westinghouse University Prep in the other City League semifinal in a couple weeks. Speaking of Westinghouse, they lose for the first time. Karn City 28 and the Bulldogs 24. DuBois over Connellsville 38-24. Butler 35, University High School of West Virginia 27, and Albert Gallatin does it again. Colonial 62, Clear Springs, Maryland 27. The Blazers going down in glory. The Colonials of Albert Gallatin now 7-0 with 3 games remaining, trying to wrap up a perfect season. All right, there's a perfect recap, close to perfect, of week 6 of the high school football season. October football underway. Final 3 weeks left in October and in the regular season. Week 7 coming up, and we can't wait. We'll get you ready for week 7 Wednesday, the Rebel Yell podcast. But don't forget, before then, we will have our Player of the Week podcast coming out late Sunday, early Monday, and our Team of the Week podcast late Monday, early Tuesday as well. We're winding down WPIAL soccer and volleyball. Check out every night that there are games in both those sports for the latest playoff clinchings to see who is qualified for the district playoffs. That's right around the corner as well as we get into postseason time for autumn sports. Thanks to Chris Lackner, our producer. I'm Don Rebel. We thank you for all your support, whether it's for the podcast, whether it's on Friday nights. It is greatly appreciated. We work hard, and we hope that you enjoy. For all of us here at Trib HSSN, I'm Don Rebel. Thank you for joining us, Rebel Yell Podcast, Trib Live, High School Sports Network.